The company that we co-founded just turned 3 years old. In this video, we're going to explain what we've learned and what you should know. I think a natural starting point is something called the 1,000-day rule. This was created by the Tropical MBA podcast. Dan and Ian talk about how they've spoken with so many different entrepreneurs, business owners, particularly more on like the bootstrapped lifestyle design type of companies as opposed to those like venture-backed, they've raised tens of millions of dollars in 18 months or something. What they talk about is for the first 1,000 days, you're gonna go through that very, very well-worn roller coaster of, hey, it's new, I'm excited, hit a wall of frustration, things aren't quite working or happening as quickly as we wanted them to. Will this ever really work? And then kind of emerging from that. And for folks that left some corporate gig, that 3-year window is also about roughly how long it takes to recreate the income to which they became accustomed in their corporate job. And neither of us were holding conventional jobs before we started this, but I can confidently say that our income is about as strong as anything that we had before the start of the company now. That's also partially a dial that we're playing of optimizing for the growth of the company and not optimizing for how much we take out of the business. We hit 6 figures in revenue the second year in business.
Right.
And we're on pace to continue growing and expanding the pie past year 3 into year 4 of the business. But what's insanely exciting is team members doing things that were once your responsibility and understanding the mechanism by which that stuff gets passed off. And we've talked about implementing SOPs, and we've talked about, training people quickly to be able to pick something up. But it's really freaking cool that if for some reason you need to step away for a day, and in the early days, like if we stepped away, nothing happened.
Got done.
It was all quiet on the Western Front. Now we step away and come back, and it's like, well, these 3 things have been completed, review them. That's so freaking cool.
It's super cool. And I don't know quite where I thought we would be at the 3-year mark, but it's pretty close to this. I think given the pandemic and everything that went on, I thought maybe we might have an office, we might have more established physical roots, but there is no part of me that is disappointed. It feels like we're still building momentum.
I think the 1,000-day framework is really, really helpful because this is not a conventional path. It's not a traditional path. And people who go to college, get an entry-level job, work hard, get promoted, put your money in your 401k, that's a very well-worn, understood path, and it worked for some of the boomers, not all of the boomers. It's just not going to work for our generation. And the issue is most people in our generation don't understand or have any sort of legibility on another path.
Right.
That's why the 1,000-day rule is so important, because okay, it's like the equivalent of going to grad school. You're making nothing, you're scratching by, you viscerally feel how much of a novice you are, but you emerge from that hopefully with your kind of feet planted underneath you, being like, oh, I kind of get it. Not that I have it all figured out. That's the other thing about being expertise. You get over that crest of thinking that you can even figure it all out, and then you climb up with a ton of humility. We've been humbled. We see the expanse at which we don't know everything, but we also see all the shit that we've gone through that most people haven't.
Yeah. And we'll still have to.
And it's interesting now, even as a service provider, the confidence by which we can say, you are likely not getting a proposal from anyone else that is as experienced at doing these specific things that we do.
And it is so funny too, whatever path you choose, you're gonna go through that 1,000 days. Like you said, the grad school example, you don't really get your feet under you until either the end or the very last few years where you I kind of get what this is about. But I think at this point, I'm starting to have a real appreciation for understanding what certain things people are built for. Some people are just built for the 1,000 days in entrepreneurship.
And I also think I've really shifted from this is something everyone should do to
definitely
certain people should do this and plenty of people definitely shouldn't.
I am on the same page there.
Overall, I would say that Hannah and my business partnership is as strong as it's ever been.
Agreed.
And the company is about as strong as it's ever been. So that gives us a ton of optimism. Obviously things could change, but our plan as of right now is that we are still in the very, very first inning of a very, very long road in terms of building this thing, impacting people, creating jobs, doing all sorts of cool stuff. And if you fuck with us, if you're someone that is watching this and it's not like an old video callback type of thing, we really appreciate you. We take the time and the care and the attention that you give us very, very seriously.
Thanks for watching.